So this course and this experience is a lot about EQ. You folks have very high IQ. EQ is more about how you go about doing things. IQ is about what. So EQ is about sensing and doing virtual interviews, conducting ourselves in different forums. One notion I want to mention is, you folks have a lot of power, as in the power to think deeply. So if you think of somebody running an obstacle race in a jungle in Kenya and has to run a marathon, you have the power, just with your IQ and so on. You have the speed. Sometimes you have to sprint, right, in a jungle to escape or something. But the third element is flexibility. And flexibility means you sometimes run sideways, even backwards, but eventually forward. And flexibility comes in thinking, it comes in feeling. So in thinking, you have to be willing to accept the opposite of what you believe, because you may find that just down the road. And that's why I love subsistence marketplaces. I mean, I remember asking a poor woman from a tribal community about hygiene, and she told me her lack of hygiene protects her from sexual assault. You will constantly learn from people who survive in that setting. It'll always surprise you, right? And you have to be willing to adapt and say, okay, I thought this, but no, there's a different reality. Same thing, flexibility in feeling. It's okay to feel remorse. It's okay to feel a bit uncomfortable. Not unsafe, but uncomfortable, right? But that's how we learn as well. So I would just say to you, meet people and visit circumstances very different from you, not only cross-culturally, but socio-economically. Mumbai and Shanghai and LA, upper middle class, are quite similar, folks. We share a lot of things. But go vertically down in LA or diagonally down to Tanzania and lower income, and you'll learn a lot, right? A lot of what we talked about is having a social or a soft heart and a tough mind. That combination is very important. And that's where economic sustainability is central to our project as well. And of course, ask yourself if being bottom up. And I've never said bottom up is better than top down. It's more difficult, it's more counterintuitive, it's often neglected, and it has a lot of pitfalls, okay? So these are all the things you did. It's amazing all the different things you did in going along with this experience. And in a way for us, what we are saying is the first stage, for us, exposure is education. If you don't have the exposure about contexts like this, right? What are you being ethical about and so on. So stage one is immersing and developing bottom-up understanding. Stage two is using that understanding to design solutions for subsistence marketplaces. Stage three is realizing those solutions are needed everywhere. Telemedicine is not just in Ghana. We needed it, and we need it right here at home. Similarly, at an individual level, it's about exposure and understanding about what to be good about, using that understanding and reflecting on our personal values, and then incorporating good locally, globally, and hopefully giving as we take rather than giving back, which is fine, but not the same as, perhaps giving as we take, or a different type of sustainable approach. So these are the different things. Reality is messy. We believe business for good is a common denominator in all of this. And so the what of our course has been subsistence and sustainability. The how has been bottom up. And the why is because we believe business is a force for good, right? So let's go back to some images. Here's an image, and we look at it and we say, oh, it's far away. It won't happen to us. It's happening to others, but not people like me, right? So we create this distance in our minds with a lot of problems we face. You look at this, melting glaciers, and you say, oh, wow, it seems a little closer in North America. It's happening, maybe even in the present, and it doesn't seem that far away. And then you look at this, wildfires in California, you look at flooding, and it seems like, well, it's a lot closer to home. So depending on issues, we create this mental distance, but a lot of these things are not that far away from us, these problems, right? And so that leads to the ultimate conundrum. In subsistence marketplaces, people live the environment. Despite low literacy and low income, they have to envision the medium term to survive. In advanced marketplaces, these problems seem far away, though we have the ability. So in some of the places I've studied, people are unable but willing. In our context, we're able, but are we willing? And we believe that to bridge these distances, we need to bridge these distances to create innovations. And we believe business for good will be at the heart of such innovations, okay? My favorite anonymous quote, the challenge of education is to prepare students for their future, not our past.